Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. Scrooge's name was good upon the exchange for anything he chose to put his hand to. Old Marley was dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead, but of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he were partners for, I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole assign, his sole residuary, his legatee, his sole friend, and his sole mourner. Even Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut up by this sad event, but that he was an excellent man of business on the very day of his funeral, and solemnized it with an undoubted bargain. Scrooge never painted out Old Marley's name. There it stood above the warehouse door for years. Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people new to the business called Scrooge, and sometimes Marley. He answered to both. It was all the same to him. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone. He was a wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. No one ever stopped him in the street to say, "My dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?" No child asked him for the time. No man or woman once, ever, in all his life, inquired the way to such and such a place. Even the blind men's dogs appeared to know him. And when they saw him coming on, would tug their owners in doorways and wag their tails, as though they said, "No eye at all is better than an evil eye, Dark Master." What did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked. To warn all human warmth and sympathy, to keep its distance. Once upon a time, of all good days of the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather. Scrooge had a very small fire. But his clerk's fire was so very much smaller, it looked like only one coal. He couldn't replenish it, for Scrooge kept the coal box at his desk. And so surely as the clerk came by with the shovel, the master predicted it would soon be necessary for them to part company.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah! Humbug!
Christmas a humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
What right have you to be dismal? You're rich enough.
There is no rich enough. Only poor enough.
Don't be angry, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself another year older, but not an hour richer. If I had my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Uncle, nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you. Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited. Christmas, I dare say, among the rest. But I am sure I have always thought of Christmas time when it has come round, apart from the veneration due to its sacred name and origin, if anything belonging to it can be separated from that, as a good time. A kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the year when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely. And therefore, uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good. Yes, and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
Let me hear another word out of you, sir, and you'll keep Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be cross, uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I'll see myself in hell first.
But why? It would be a great pleasure to my wife, and to me.
Why did you get married? A poor girl who brought little to the marriage.
Because I fell in love with the lady.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
But, uncle, you never gave that as a reason for not coming before I married. Why give it as a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon. You are wasting my time.
I am sorry to find you so resolute. But I have made my trial of knowledge to Christmas, and I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, a Merry Christmas to you, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year!
Good afternoon. There's another fellow. My clerk. With 15 shillings a week, and a wife, and a family, talking about a Merry Christmas. Ah. Come in.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Sir, do we have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving part.
Sir, this festive season of the year, it is more than usually desirable that we make some slight provision for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at this present time. Many thousands are in want of common necessaries. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts. Sir?
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses, they are still in operation.
They are, though I wish I could say they were not.
The poor law and the treadmill are in full vigor, then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I was afraid of what you said at first, that something had occurred to stop them in their useful purpose. I am very glad to hear it.
Bearing in mind that they do little to instill Christian cheer of mind and body to the multitude. A few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to provide the poor with some meat and drink and means of warmth. We choose this time because it is a time above all others where want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
Then you wish to remain anonymous?
I I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help to support the establishments I have mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
But many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they had better do it, and increase the surplus population. Cease that infernal catalogue at once, or I shall do you something. You'll want the whole day tomorrow, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet, you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
But it is only once a year, sir.
Poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Still, I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
Yes, sir. I will, sir. Merry Christmas. Goodbye, sir.
Took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and having read all the newspapers and his banker's book, he went home to bed. He lived in a gloomy suite of rooms that had once belonged to his partner. Now, it is a fact that there was nothing particular about the knocker on Scrooge's door, and also that Scrooge had seen it every evening and morning for years, and also that Scrooge possessed no more fanciful imagination about him than any other man in the whole city of London. Nevertheless, having his key in the lock of the door, Scrooge saw in the door knocker Marley's face.
Jacob? Jacob Marley?
Taken aback, he stared fixedly at the apparition, when it suddenly disappeared and returned again to its normal state.
Humbug! I'm like steel. I won't be in it. How now? What do you want from me?
March.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
I can.
We'll do it then.
You do not believe in me.
I don't.
What evidence of my reality would you have beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight a disorder of the stomach. You may be a bit of undigested beef, a lot of muscle, crumb of cheese, fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you. Dreadful aberration! Why do you trouble me?
Man of a worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do! I must! But why do spirits walk the earth? And why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander the world. Oh, woe is me! And witness what it can now no longer share, but might have shared on earth, and turn to happiness.
That's a terrible great chain wear, Jacob.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. Would you know the weight and length of the chain you bear yourself? It was full as heavy and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
I see no chain.
Mine became visible the day of my death, as will yours.
Jacob! Oh, Jacob Marley! Tell me more! Speak comfort to me, Jacob!
I have none to give. It comes from other regions, Ebenezer, and is conveyed by other ministers to other kinds of men. Nor can I tell you what I would. A very little time is permitted me. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. My spirit never walked beyond our counting house, and weary journeys lie before me.
But you're always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop in the comprehensive ocean of my business. It is at this time I suffered the most. Why did I walk through crowds of my fellow beings with eyes turned down and never raised to that blessed star that led the wise men to a poor abode? Hear me now. My time is almost gone. I have come here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate.
You always were a good friend to me, Jacob.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance and hope you spoke of, Jacob?
It is,
I think I'd rather not.
without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tonight, when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second, on the next night at the same hour. The third, on the next night, when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. For your own sake, Ebenezer, remember what has passed between us.
Scrooge ventured to raise his eyes and found the supernatural visitor had vanished. He examined the door by which the ghost had entered and found that it was double locked by its own hand and the bolts were undisturbed. And then, either through the emotions he had undergone, or the fatigues of the day, or his glimpse of the invisible world, much in need of repose, he went straight to bed, fell asleep upon the instant.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who? And what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
What is your purpose, spirit?
Your welfare.
I believe a night of uninterrupted sleep would be more conducive to my welfare.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
But I am mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand, and you shall be upheld in more than this. We shall be invisible and silent as the grave.
Good heavens! I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Your lip is trembling, and what is that upon your cheek?
Nothing. Nothing.
You recollect the way?
Recollect it. I can walk it blindfold.
Strange to have forgotten it after all these years. The school is not quite deserted. A solitary boy, neglected by his friends, resides there still.
I know. His mother is dead. His father bears him a grudge.
Why does his father bear him a grudge?
She died in childbirth. His birth.
Weep for the boy if the tears will come.
He has his friends, even on such a day as this. His beloved books.
But not a real child, not a living person that he could talk to.
Not real. Real enough to him. No, he may do, this boy. Robinson Crusoe. Good old Robinson Crusoe. And Friday. And the Green Parrot.
The Green Parrot.
Poor boy. I wish Nothing. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I wish I'd given him some, is all.
Let us look at another Christmas. Emmy!
Van!
Dear brother, I have come to bring you home, dear brother. To bring you home. Home!
Home, Van?
Yes, home for good and all. Home forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be, that home is like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one night, as I was going to bed, that I was not afraid to ask him once more if he wanted to come home. And he said, yes, you should, and sent me in a coach to bring you. And you're to be a man, and I'm never to come back here again. But first, we're to be together all the Christmas long, and have the merriest time in all the world.
You are quite a woman, Van.
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered. But she has such a large heart.
So she had. So she had. I'll not deny it.
She died a woman and, as I think, had children.
One child.
True. Your nephew.
True.
The ghost then led Scrooge to a certain warehouse and asked if he knew it.
Might you know this place?
Know it? I apprenticed here. Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, it's old Fezziwig alive again.
Ebenezer, Dick!
Why, Dick Wilkins, to be sure. He was very much attached to me. Oh, dear, dear.
Oh, boys! No more work tonight. It's Christmas Eve! Christmas Eve, Ebenezer. Christmas Eve, Dick. Let's have this, clear this way. Get the shutters up before a man can say Jack Robinson. Hitty-ho, lads.
Clear away? Well, there's nothing they wouldn't have cleared away, or couldn't have cleared away with old Fezziwig looking on. It was done in a minute. Every movable was packed off, as if it were to be dismissed from public life forevermore. In came a fiddler, in came Mrs. Fezziwig, one vast substantial smile. In came the three Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. In came the three young men whose hearts they broke. In came all the young men and women. Boy, that's business.
Time for dancing, one and all.
Five, 6, 7, 8.
waste of time.
You didn't think so then?
There was a reason then.
Such a small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small.
Why is it not? You spent but a few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps, danced like a monkey, beamed a great smile. Is that really so much that he deserves all this praise?
It isn't that, Spirit. It isn't that. He has had the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, pleasure or toil. The happiness he gave us was quite as great as though it cost a fortune.
What's the matter?
Nothing in particular.
Something, I think?
No, I should like to be able to say a word to my clerk just now. That's all.
My time grows short. Quick.
Again, Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, a man in the prime of his life. His face had not the harsh and rigid lines of later years, but it had begun to show the signs of care and avarice. He was not alone, but was approached by a fair girl in a mourning dress, in whose eyes there were tears.
It matters little to you. Very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, then I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the way of the world. There is nothing upon which it is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing which it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much, Ebenezer. All your hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its sordid reproach. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off, one by one, until only one passion, gain, rules and possesses you.
What then? Even if I have grown wiser, I have not changed towards you, have I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until we could improve our worldly fortune. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
You see, your own feeling tells you that you are not what you were.
Have I ever sought release?
In words, no, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in everything that made my love of any value to you. Tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now as you are? A dowerless girl with nothing but myself to bring to a marriage? You have no answer.
You think that I would not?
Ebenezer, what a safe and terrible answer. So characteristic of the careful man. I would gladly gladly think otherwise if I could. But if you were free today, can I believe that you would choose a girl with no dowry? You, who weigh everything by gain. Don't I know that your repentance and regret would surely follow? I do. And so, I release you with a full heart for the love of him you once were. You may for a brief time have pain in this, but you will soon dismiss it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which it happened well that you awoke. May you be happy, Ebenezer, in the life you have chosen.
Go after her, you fool!
Belle? Ah. Humbug.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home, please. Why do you delight to torture me?
I tell you, these are the shadows of the things that have been. That they are what they are, do not blame me.
Remove me. I cannot bear it. Leave me. Take me back. Haunt me no longer.
The truth lives.
Scrooge was conscious of being exhausted, overcome by irresistible drowsiness, and of being in his own bedroom. He had barely time to reel to bed before he sank into a heavy sleep.
Ebenezer Scrooge, come in, you weird little man. Come in and know me better. I'm the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before.
Never.
Have you never walked forth with another member of my family?
I don't believe I have. I am afraid I have not. Have you had many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
Tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, conduct me where you will. What you have to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
The Spirit led Scrooge to a humble home in Camden Town, in a poor, shabby part of the city. It was none other than the dwelling of Scrooge's clerk, Bob Cratchit. The Spirit beamed upon the family as they prepared for the Christmas celebration and blessed them with a sprinkle from the bright torch he carried.
Tell me, Spirit, is there a peculiar flavor in what you sprinkle from your torch?
There is. My own.
Would it apply to any kind of dinner on this day?
To any kindly given. To
To a poor one most.
Why to a poor one most?
Because it needs it most.
Whatever has got to your precious father then, and your brother Tiny too? And Martha wasn't as late last Christmas Day.
Here's Martha, Mother. There's such a cute Martha.
Oh, bless your heart alive, my dear. How very late you are.
We had a deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind, so long as you come.
That's Father coming now. Hide, Mother, hide.
Merry Christmas, my dear. Why, where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming. Not coming on Christmas Day?
And how did little Tim behave?
As good as gold and better. Somehow, he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much and thinks of the strangest things. Why, he told me coming home that he hoped the people in the church would see him because he was a cripple, and that it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Why, it seems to me, my dear, that our little Tim is getting stronger every day.
I'm sure you're right, Robert. Belinda, help with this.
Spirit,
Tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see an empty seat in a poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
no! Kind spirit, say he will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race shall find him here. What? If he be like to die, he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population. And perhaps you will never speak so again until you have discovered what the surplus is and where it is. It might be that in the sight of heaven, you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
At last, the dinner was all done. The cloth was cleared, the hearth swept, the fire made up, apples and oranges were placed upon the table. Punch was tasted and considered perfect. All the family drew round the table as Bob poured glasses of punch for one and all.
Merry Christmas to us, my dears. God bless us.
Merry Christmas. God bless us, everyone.
Well now, spirit, had we best be on our way?
Not just yet. We have enough time for one more ceremonious moment.
Mr. Scrooge, I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I hope he'd have good appetite for it. He'd have indigestion for a week.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I am sure, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge.
my dear. Christmas Day.
Very well. I'll drink his health for your sake and for the day's, not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt. Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge.
The spirit next led Scrooge to a lovely, comfortable home with a bright, gleaming room. All about them were the sounds of good fellowship and laughter. With the spirit standing and smiling at his side, Scrooge realized they were present at a Christmas party at the home of his nephew.
He said that Christmas was a humbug. And he believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred. I'd like to meet this uncle of yours, Fred. You make him sound quite amusing.
He's a comical old fellow, and that's the truth. However, his offenses carry their own punishment. His wealth is of no use to him. He does no one any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't the satisfaction of ever thinking he is going to benefit us with it.
Well, I have no patience with him.
I have. I'm sorry for him. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. Here, he takes it into his mind to dislike us, and won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence?
Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner.
Truthfully, the reason I speak of my uncle so is that my mother, God rest her soul, loved him very much.
It's true. Fan loved me and I her. I wish she was still here.
Fred looks quite like her.
Yes, I've been reminded of that recently.
The result of him taking such a dislike to us and refusing to come and dine with us is that he loses many happy moments he could share with us. But I mean to give him the same chance every year, in the hopes that one day he'll relent and accept. Now for a game.
Oh, do let's play similes. It's my favorite.
Very well. I begin a well-known simile, and the person I choose must finish it for us. You each have 5 seconds to complete it. Let us try. Let's see. Red as...
A rose.
Very good. And another. Proud as...
Perhaps a peacock.
Very good. And another. Quick as...
A fox.
Well, I was thinking quick as a wink,
Oh.
but I will grant you a correct answer.
Thank you.
Now, for another. Janet, attend. Tight as...
A drum, you idiot.
Tight as your Uncle Scrooge's purse strings.
Well, he has given us plenty of merriment, I'm sure. And it would be ungrateful not to drink his health. So, I give you Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to him. He wouldn't take it from me, but he may have it nevertheless. To Scrooge.
To Scrooge.
saw it not. As the last stroke ceased to vibrate, Scrooge remembered the words in the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and, lifting his eyes, he beheld a solemn phantom, draped and hooded, approaching like a mist along the ground. The phantom came toward him gravely, silently. It was shrouded in a deep black garment which concealed its head, its face, its form, and left nothing of it visible, save one outstretched hand.
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me the shadows of things which have not been, but which will be, in the time that is before us. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. But, as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, I am prepared to bear you company. Will you not speak to me? Lead on, then. Lead on. The night is waning fast, and time is precious to me. Lead on, Spirit.
I don't know much about it either way. All I know is he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
God only knows.
Do you know what he's done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know. It's likely to be a very cheap funeral. I can't imagine for the life of me anyone to go to it. What if you and I got together and made up a party and volunteered?
I might be willing to go, if a lunch is provided. But I must be fed to make up for the waste of my time.
I'll go if anyone else will. Come to think of it, I think we were closest friends. We used to stop and speak whenever we met on the street. Good day to you, sir.
And you.
Spirit, why was I privy to that conversation? What purpose could it have for me?
In answer, the scene changed. Scrooge found himself in a room, very dark. Almost too dark to be observed with any accuracy, although Scrooge glanced round, anxious to know what kind of room it was. He suddenly recoiled in terror. He could now see, in the dim light, under a shroud, lying upon a table, alone, bereft, unwatched, uncared for and unwept, the body of a man. The spirit pointed silently at the body.
Merciful heaven! What is this? Spirit, this is a fearful place. I wish to leave it. This you cannot make me do. Furthermore, there must be someone in this city who feels some sort of emotion on account of this man's death. I demand to see that person.
Scrooge and the spirit left the busy scene. Scrooge found himself in an obscure part of town where he had never been before. The ways were foul and narrow, the houses and shops wretched, the people drunken and dirty. The alleyways reeked with the smell of filth and dirt. In the middle of one infamous street, there stood a ramshackle shop. Sitting amongst the wares he dealt in was a disreputable rascal. The shop was entered by a ragged woman, equally disreputable, and dragging behind her a bag full of merchandise. Stop till I shut the door. Let's see what we have in. It's quite a bundle, Mrs. Dilbert.
Every person has a right to take care of himself. He always did.
Well, that's true indeed. No man more so.
It's the worst for the loss of a few things like these. Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, he should have been more natural in his life. If he had been, he'd have had somebody to take care of him after he was dead, instead of being struck with death, dying, gasping out his last there alone by himself.
Here, what do you call these bed curtains?
Hey, bed curtains.
You don't mean to say you took these things down, rings and all, not with him lying there?
Yes, I do. Why not? Oh, careful of them blankets now.
His blankets?
Whose else do you think? Isn't likely to take cold without them, I dare say.
Yeah, he didn't find anything catching now, did he?
This is the end of it, you see. He's frightened us all away when he was alive, so that he could profit us when he was dead.
I see. Spirit, I see that the case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life tends that way. In leaving this place, I shall not leave its lesson. Trust me, Spirit. Let us go. See nothing here but greed and avarice. Could you not show me some kindness, some depth of feeling? Let me see some tenderness connected with the death, or that dark chamber we have just left will be forever present to me.
The spirit conducted Scrooge through several streets by now familiar to him, and Scrooge found himself at the home of Bob Cratchit, where he had been before, and found Mrs. Cratchit and her children gathered round the hearth, sitting together. The room was very quiet.
Oh, the color hurts my eyes.
so that it was no trouble. No trouble. There's your father at the door. You went today then, Robert?
Yes, my dear. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him I would go there on Sunday. My little child! You'll never suppose who I ran into today. Fred Holloway, Mr. Scrooge's nephew. Well, I told him about our Tim. I am heartily sorry for it, Mr. Cratchit, and heartily sorry for your good wife. If you need me for anything, he said, handing me his card, that's where I live. Pray, come to me. It really seems as if he had known our Tim and felt with us.
I'm sure he's a good soul, Robert.
You would be sure of it, my dear, if you only saw and spoke to him. I wouldn't be surprised if he got Peter a better situation.
Only hear that, Peter.
And then Peter will be keeping company with someone and setting up for himself. Oh, get on.
It's just as likely as not, one of these days. But, however, and whenever we all part from each other, I'm sure that none of us will forget poor Tiny Tim.
Never, Father.
And when we remember how patient he was, and how gentle and mild, though but a little child, I'm sure we'll not easily quarrel among ourselves.
I'm a truly blessed man.
I ask for tenderness and depth of feeling, and you have shown me that. There is nothing more I need see. Take me home.
The spirit then conducted Scrooge to a small iron gate. Scrooge paused to look around before entering a churchyard. Here then lay the man whose name he had now to learn. Walled in, overrun by grass and weeds, crowded and choked with too much burying. The phantom stopped and pointed to one of the stones.
Before I draw closer to that stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things which will be, or are they the shadows of things which may be only? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends to which, if persevered in, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, the ends will change. Say it is thus with what you show me.
Ebenezer Scrooge!
Am I the man that lay upon that bed? No, Spirit, no. No. Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been. Why show me this if I am past all hope? Good Spirit, assure me I may yet chase these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me that I may sponge out the writing on this stone.
Yes, the bedroom was his own. The bed was his own. The room was his own. Best and happiest of all, the time was his own to make amends in.
I will honor Christmas in my heart. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and Christmas be praised for this. I say it on my knees, oh Jacob, on my knees. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Oh, I'm as giddy as a drunken man. A Merry Christmas to everybody, and a Happy New Year to all the world. There's the saucepan that the gruel was in. There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. There's the corner where the ghost of Christmas present sat. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened. Oh, glorious, glorious. What's today?
Eh?
What's today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, Christmas Day?
It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. Well, they can do anything they like. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello.
Do you know the poulterers in the next street but one, at the corner?
I should hope I do.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Tell me, do you know if they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window? Not the little prize turkey, the big one.
What? The one as big as me?
Delightful boy, pleasure to talk to. Yes, my fine fellow.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it. I am in earnest. Go and buy it and tell them to bring it back here, that I may give them the direction where to take it. Come back with the man, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown. I'll send it to Bob Cretins. He shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I hope you succeeded in your worthy endeavor yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name. I fear it may not be very pleasant. If I may make a donation to your most worthy cause, would you please put me down for...
Lord bless me!
If you please, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in that amount, I assure you. But will you do me that favor?
My good sir, we don't know what to say. Such generosity.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Come and see. Will you come and sing?
We will.
Thank you. I bless you 50 times. Thank you so much. A Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Fred? Why, bless my soul, it's Uncle Ebenezer.
A Merry Christmas to your nephew.
Janet, you've not met Uncle Ebenezer. Uncle Ebenezer, this is Janet.
Bit of a surprise, wouldn't you say?
But, Uncle, what has happened? When we spoke last, you made it quite clear you thought Christmas was humbug.
Yes, waste of time and money. A false and commercial festival to be ignored. Well, I wish to beg your pardon for everything I said about Christmas. That was the humbug. I didn't know it then, but I know it now. And if the invitation to Christmas dinner is still in force, I accept with pleasure.
Still in force? Well, of course it is. Hurrah!
Is that too sharp? We'll be expecting you, Uncle Ebenezer. You made us very happy.
Yes, very happy. We'll see you at dinner.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Not here yet. We'll see about that. Mr. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in at this time of day? Do you know what time it is?
18 minutes past the hour, sir. I'm so very sorry, sir. It will not happen again.
No, it will not. You are a little behind your time, I think. Step this way, if you please.
It is only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday.
Now I'll tell you what, my friend. I am not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I am going to double your salary. Yes. Merry Christmas, a Merry Christmas, my dear fellow, that I have given you in many a year. I'll double your salary for a start, and I'll endeavor to help your family in any way that I can. And Tim will walk again and grow stronger and stronger. Upon my life he will. We'll discuss the particulars this afternoon over a Christmas bowl. Well, what's the matter?
Oh, why, sir, it's just that... Nothing. Forget it. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Well, make up the fire, my dear fellow, before we both freeze to death. And buy us some more coke before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Yes, sir.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all in infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the Oak City knew. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he little heeded them and let them laugh. For he was wise enough to know that nothing good ever happened on this globe for good, at which some people did not have their share of laughter. His own heart laughed, that was quite enough for him. He had no further experiences with spirits. And it was always said of him, he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be true, he said, of us, and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone!